It was a beautiful Tuesday morning. AD4 TV radio crew, in its usual routine, was out to unravel the causes of the decline and the standard of education across the FCT. Suddenly, the crew bumped into a large number of students roaming on the major road, as such causing an early morning gridlock. They are students of a government secondary school in Dutse Alhaji under Buhari Area Council. But at 8:30 up until past 9 in the morning, why were they outside the school gates? While they are not relenting in returning home, the school management is also not going back on no payment of fees, no school.
We're chased for school fees. We do pay 5,900 naira, then for school fees, then 1,000 naira for PTA every term. If you come to school in the morning, they will be at the gates. If you are not with your receipt, you can't go inside. So, but they send some people home to go, but some don't want to go. They are hoping they will allow us to go inside, but they say they are not allowing us today. We are starting our exam next week by the grace of God. So they say without our receipt we can't write exam. So they are chasing us to pay. Because if they don't chase us, we are not going to pay. Actually, they told us they are not paying school fees. Government school are free. So I don't know why they started paying school fees. I want to know the reason why they say we are paying school fees. But I know all government school, if they don't pay school fees, they do pay PTA meeting and PTA money. But I don't know for school fees. It's only Abuja I came to and I saw government school paying school fees. I'm paying up to 7,900.
Yeah, we pay PTA 1,000 naira. Yes, every term because it's compulsory. We pay it with school fees, and we pay like there are some monies that we pay, but aside from school fees, we do pay small money. Like when we have projects, we pay for the projects. Like some teachers, each subject may decide to give projects, so they will ask us to pay for it. But some teachers, like they want us to buy all their textbook, and it's not easy because some parents can't really afford it, and some teachers do fail us because of the textbook, and not everybody can afford the money because each subject wanted to have its textbook and workbook, and the money is not easy. It's not easy because all fingers are not equal, but they're making it compulsory for us to buy the textbook. And some teachers, by the end of the day, they will end up not using the textbook. The only thing they will use is the workbook. Then we will not ask ourselves, why then do we buy the textbook? Because most of the questions from the exam that we have written, apart from FCT, are not even in the textbook, but they do force us to buy the textbook. Then we will not be asking ourselves, why the reason for the buying of the textbook? And all fingers are not equal. Not everyone can afford it.
The school fees is too much on us. Like some of us, we used to pay the school fees by ourselves, and they are charging us much. At least if they want to charge us, they should charge us the less, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 that we can be able to afford fast. Total of everything in our school, if you check it, it will be about 10,000 naira, and we are not able to afford it. At times, I copy notes for students. I learnt a bakery, I learnt a work, so I used to use it. If I have an order in my house, I will make it. Then any money I have, then I will give to this. I will give them for them to keep for me. When I finish graduating, that's when I will pay the school fees. I'm living with my parents, but they don't have. The people, we are 15 in number, but it's not my parents that gave birth to them, but their parents are late. So my mom cannot afford that kind of school fees. She sell fruits and she do farm. So that stuff cannot contain all of us. So you have to cater for yourself. I don't really know what they use the money for. But me, the truth, what I used to say in their back, they used to eat the money. they might give them something to share for students, something like textbook or storybook or books. They will not end up sharing it for students. They will leave it. Termite will eat it. When termite has finished, sometimes they will sell it. When termite has finished eating, they will go and dump it in the waste bin, which is not right.
When we resume, they'll be announcing us, pay your school fees, pay your school fees. And the situation of our country now is very hard. My auntie now, I'll be disturbing her all the time. She'll be saying, I'll pay, I'll pay, I'll pay. Textbook, they say we should buy a textbook. Me, for myself, I bought some. I would like to buy more for the good of myself, but the money is hard, the country.
What did you do today's money?
I'm not doing anything for now.
But how did you raise the money to buy?
Well, I talked to my mommy because I'm staying with my auntie. So I talked to her. And my auntie will not know. I will not try to inform her. So she send money to me through another person's account. That's it. So about school fees, managing, she said she's going to pay, but at least she have paid. I paid my school fees on Monday. I want to talk to her. I want to take from some problems. Yes, I can go inside now.
Then suddenly, the school management noticed the presence of the media. AD4 TV radio was talking with some of the students who were expressing dissatisfaction with the management of the school, and this reaction followed.
What are you mourning?
They began to chase the students away. Shortly after, their aggression was transferred on the media crew. Threats and attempts to attack with verbal abuses followed.
You have to stop covering my face. I get what I'm saying. Because this is not right. Okay?
As if that was not enough, the camera was seized.
Please, we want to know that you have to have everything. We want to know the agency that sent you.
Wait.
We want to know the agency.
Attempts by the crew to capture the drama with their phones resulted in an unlawful seizure of all the phones.
We are trying to control the children so that they will leave the express road. And then you people will now say you are violent. What kind of violence? We came to the students, we told them please, they should leave this place.
I didn't know what is happening. I saw my students.
Just coming in
I saw my students. I said, let me take them in. Because that's how we do it. We try them. After 1 or 2 hours, we take them in. So that they can pay. You came here snapping.
That everything, that Sunny is YouTube
Are you
live.
saying we are friends?
It's not proper.
We are not.
Huh? It's not proper.
You are making me angry and speaking fast. Stand on opposite. I fear God too. Let's go to my office. Because they shouting, people are aggressive. We are pulling this guy to almost lynching. So now, yes, I say let's go to my office. No, ma, it's when I.
Well, after hours of delay attracting disapproval from passers-by and the public, plus the undoubted efforts of AD4 TV radio to ensure the matter was reported to the right authorities, the school gate was thrown open to take in those who were set not to have paid the school fees. The matter was reported to the police, who intervened and got the seized items back. An apology letter followed by the school management to the management of AD4 TV radio. But then, how free is the supposed free education in Nigeria, with the FCT being a role model?
The last time I checked, I think it is the junior education that they claim is free. That is from primary 1 to what we used to call JS3. Uh-huh.
In fact, it was JSS 1 to 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Then if that is a government school, then we need to figure out what these charges are for, because the government says those are free, especially in the FCT here. I've been to some of those junior schools, I think they call them junior schools. That's what they call them. I've been to some of those ones and I know they don't pay much. Maybe in a term, they pay 1,000 here and there, and those things are PTA agreed financing. There's a particular school I went that time, I was doing a program that time called Everyday Mathematics, so sometimes I use schools. We went there and I discovered that the school was what they would call in the contemporary parlance, tush. The school was tush, and I said, what's happening here? And the head teacher told me, well, the parents took it upon themselves to give a private standard to these public schools. We did not ask them. They say we are going to put good seats, we are going to clean the environment, we are going to put good convenience, we are going to put... So the parents did that for themselves, and the children are there, they are doing okay. So if that kind of school is telling you that they are paying school fees 8,000 and all of that, that's something I think Quebec should be notified and they should look into it. I don't think that the FCT will say, so did they tell you which office in the FCT that said that? I am saying this because recently there was an issue of some kind of PTA charges in one of the public schools here in Abuja, and it came to the fore in the media and people commented, and the right department, the FCT education department and UBEC, all of them came out and said they have not authorized any school to collect any money from the children. In fact, the person that spoke that time asserted that they insisted that even PTA fee should be run by the authority for approval. And then he gave, I think, a margin that any PTA fee should not exceed. If that school is telling you is the FCT administration that say they should lock out the children for school fees, and they are actually in junior school, then I think it would have been best if you got what office gave the instruction. Can we see an evidence? So that we can actually confront the office and say, have you changed the modus operandum? Let's know so that we can also promote it. That would have been fine. Because humans, especially we Nigerians, we can do a lot of things. I can go somewhere now and tell them it's your organization that sent me. And maybe the only relationship I have with your organization is just this interview. So we need to always seek for evidence so that we can go further and ask these questions. A lot of these people are doing things on their own, and they use the name of the government to back it up.
Why should a school lock most of its students out because of school fees when education is supposed to be free?
It is not right, because we need to look at the current situation in the country with the issue of kidnapping, insecurities, and all of that. It is not right to keep human beings out of the school when their parents actually thought they have gone to school. You are exposing them. The government puts a lot of effort to free school children who are kidnapped, and then you are vis-a-vis making them available for kidnappers to come and take, and then begin to drag the government and all of that. So I don't think it is right. You can write to a child's parent to say, if your child has not paid XYZ, please don't let the child come to school on so day, so that they know, so that the child stays at home in their custody. Not for them to come to the school and you drive them, keep them on the street. Most of these children are juveniles. They really are not fully developed. They don't have self-control. They have peer pressure. They are driven by what they see. They are curious and all of that. They might just start trying their hands on different things because there's nobody there actually controlling them. So that is dangerous, and I don't think any school should do it. I encourage them to write to the parents to prevent them from coming to the school rather than locking them out.
So, what is the way forward?
The school system suffers the impact of corruption most. Also, I've been on strike. And the reason they are on strike is not something that started last 4 years, from the 1990s. In fact, some people told me it was from the 80s. So corruption is destroying everything. I told you about the issue of monitoring and evaluation. Is it not corruption that is causing somebody to say, I'm coming to your school? If you don't take care of them, they write a bad report about you, irrespective of what they see on ground. Is it not corruption? Is it not corruption that makes you look at somebody who is a better teacher, but because that person has not paid you money for recruitment, you leave the person and recruit the one who paid you money? So I'm going to work for you to earn money and I have to pay you first to get the job. When I get the job, what do you think I'm going to do? Recover my money by any means necessary. But that's corruption. It is corruption that will make a teacher comes to the class knowing fully well that at the end of the month he is going to be paid. But he will come to the class, dump note on the children, sit down, eat granite, and leave the class. He doesn't care. Then that teacher turns around and says, come and pay extramural fee so that I will teach you what you ought to have done at the right time when they paid you for. And then because you didn't teach them when exam comes, you say, come and pay. In fact, there's a school I went, they call it malpractice fee. Students should come and pay malpractice fee. And I told one of the teachers, I say, okay, this thing as you, they call them so, you know they feel anyhow. Say, my brother, now so we see him, man, God survive. It is so normal. Nobody's conscience is pricked. If every nook and cranny you see the corruption, everywhere you turn, corruption say hello. Everywhere you go, corruption say I'm here. It has destroyed the school system. We have to figure out a way to wage holistic war on corruption. And that's going to take a lot of sacrifice from even individuals. Because what I have noticed is that in Nigeria, we want the country to be good. But I want you to stop doing your bad things, but I should continue my good things. I mean, my own bad things. So what is bad based on who does it. If it benefits me, it's opportunity. If it doesn't, it's corruption. We should change that definition and we should take it on headlong without reducing corruption to a minimal level in this country. We won't go anywhere. Education will continue to dilapidate. The economy will continue to struggle. It's not a matter of one Mr. President. It's a matter of collective effort. Focus on an effective monitoring and evaluation program. An efficient one. Bring in technology to support you. Make sure that education is not something you just put out there and say, let it grow on its own. You need to be conscious about it. Because it is a foundation of the nation. Human capital is what makes your economy sustainable. So overall, I am urging the government to look at education critically. Come up, in fact, they should rejig the curriculum, they should rejig the implementation process, they should rejig the idea of human resource recruitment into the education system, and they should look at bringing technology to help bring in an effective and efficient monitoring and evaluation system to drive the course of the country's education.
The matter might have been settled, but the reality remains that the safety of journalists cannot be guaranteed as long as exposing the ills in the education sector is concerned.